Brayden, what's my title?
These are some optical illusions.
Alright, how many of you saw the real words? Some. Anyway, my name is Zachary, and I'm here today to talk about a commonly misunderstood topic that I've learned about in the course of a few months. Optical illusions. When you ask, what is an optical illusion, the most simple answer is, an optical illusion is a picture that tricks your brain into seeing something that is there, isn't there, or modifying what you see using color placement and manipulating your brain's flawed judgment. Here's an example, the healing grid illusion. If you stare at the white dot in the middle, out of the corner of your eye, the broken pieces over here will fix themselves. Go on, try it. This happens because when your brain sees that the squares in the middle near the dot are perfect, it just generally assumes on its own that all of the other squares and lines are perfect too, because it's not focusing on them, so it doesn't use all of its power to analyze it. The human brain is complex and processes many images. Over the course of thousands of years of evolution, the brain has adapted to the world around it, and in some cases, learned to take shortcuts in order to make humans a more adaptable species. The side effect of this is that your brain can make assumptions that prove to be wrong and convince you that you are seeing something that doesn't actually exist. How is your brain being fooled by an illusion? Most neuroscientists usually explain color illusions in these terms. They arise because of the way cells in your retina and how the cells in your retina and your brain respond to certain wavelengths of light. Buolato, a neuroscientist at the University College of London, explains, "We can misperceive colors and shapes because our visual sense has been molded by evolutionary history." Again, we define illusions as the phenomena in which perception differs from physical reality in a way that is readily evident. You may see something that is not there, or fail to see something that is there, or see something in a way that does not reflect its physical properties. Your brain instead gathers pieces of data from your sensory systems, some of which are quite imprecise or frankly wrong. Authors of Champions of Illusion, the science behind mind-boggling images and mystifying brain puzzles. A kind of illusion called a cognitive illusion happens when your current knowledge of the picture itself and the world around you can change what you see. The Penrose triangle is, in a way, an example of it. When you look at something, you see light. More specifically, light coming from the sun or from a light bulb bouncing off that object into your eyes. That light is then converted into electrical pulses that your brain can turn into a picture. Sometimes your brain makes things up based off of where it thinks things will be. This happens because you see things about a whole tenth of a second after it actually happens, because the nerves in your eyes cannot send what you see to your brain instantly, but still at amazing speeds. Again, this takes around 1/10 of a second, so your eyes are taking in a lot of information at any given moment, which makes it difficult for your brain to try and focus on everything at once. So our brain takes shortcuts, simplifying what we see to help us concentrate on what's important. Optical illusions also smartly use the change between what your eyes actually see and what your brain perceives. They reveal the way your visual system changes pictures before you're even made aware of them. a bit like a personal assistant that decides what is and isn't worthy of your attention. People were creating optical illusions way before we knew what made them work. Today, developments in neuroscience have identified the visual processes that trick your brain into falling for many of them, while others still are beyond explanation. Your brain may also change what you see for a different reason. If one thing has enough obvious traits that hint towards another thing, like this illusion right here, for a few seconds, you don't see what is in front of you, you see what it is hinting to. And then when your brain gets a chance to look at it more closely, then it realizes what it's actually looking at. Like here, you see a skull, then after a little bit, you realize that it's a person putting on makeup in front of a mirror. It's a kind of an illusion is a kind of hallucination that the brain does because it is, in a way, lazy.